Empty streets and police in riot gear. That's what you see in the border town of Birganj in southern Nepal. For more than 3 weeks there have been strikes here, protests against the proposed federal states under a new constitution. Last week, 5 protesters were shot dead by security forces, and since then the town has been under a government curfew. Trucks carrying essential supplies stretch back for kilometers on the border. Birganj is Nepal's most important entry point for goods from India. For every day this place is closed, the government loses an estimated $5 million in revenue. And the impact has been devastating for the average person. Panna Devi is a street food vendor.
Without work, it's difficult. I used to earn around $3 to $4 a day. Now we can't even buy cooking oil or vegetables.
There isn't much in her small rented room where she lives with her daughter-in-law and 2 grandchildren. Just outside our house we met Sheikh Hursel, who also wanted to talk to us.
It's like living in a jail here. Politicians use our poverty and anger, and while we are suffering, the Nepali government takes supplies to the center right before our eyes.
And this is precisely the reason why violence broke out. With supplies running low, people here are forced to pay a high price to get household goods. A bottle of cooking gas costs more than $20, almost 40% the usual price. Angry locals tried to break the restricted zone and security forces reacted. 5 people died when security forces fired at protesters. Now, the anger is at a tipping point.
It is locals who are participating in the protests, and it's being fueled by competition between some political interest groups. To add to that, the government's discriminatory response has also fired up people. When there are demonstrations in Kathmandu or the hills, the government has used peaceful methods of dispersion. Here, they use live bullets, and that too above the waist.
Our requests for interviews to district authorities were denied. On Saturday, when the bodies of the 5 young men killed in the protests were taken around the district, huge crowds came out on the street. People from different communities, castes and religions were all represented, and anger at the authorities was apparent. Locals here are tired of strikes and curfews, but they also want the government to respect their aspirations. Many that we talked to said they hope the government reaches out to the agitating parties, gain their trust for a long-lasting solution. Sabina Shrestha, Al Jazeera, Birganj.